Now they're at the MMK in Frankfurt. And I think finally, after seeing them at the MMK, at the opening, then all my friends that were there and gallery people, museum curators, they said, now we get it. This is the work. And, can we offer it? And I said, no, this is really my, it's like my knickers from childhood kind of thing. Not that I've kept my knickers from childhood, but it's just so private. And yet, somehow, to be at the National Museum was okay. So I don't know what I'll do with it. But it was a great moment for me, again, another triumph that these books that everybody made fun of. What is this little book? Tum kya chota kaam karti rehti ho? Kuch bada karo. And that really, at the end of the day, this is what my portly will be. So I will be even less than a traveling salesman, because I'll just have, Gerhard said, when you want to publish all 32, we'll publish all 32 of those books that you've made. So I'll have a shoebox with my life's archive. And I'm like anyway, forget the analogies, they're coming out all wrong. I don't know why I'm stuck on underwear, but this is so personal. I'm feeling quite exposed. So this is Museum of Chance at MMK. And this is, of course, my beloved Gerhard Steidl talking about the sound of paper. And I don't know if you people know that he's even made a perfume called Paper Passion. We are both equally crazy. And for me, he made a talk, how to make a book with Dayanita Singh on the 23rd of October. And for me, it was as though I was getting the Oscars, that grumpy old Steidl would come and actually, he spoke in German, so I don't even know what he said. But I was beside myself, between hysteria and crying. I couldn't believe that he was actually doing this. And he's a tremendous support. I mean, I think certainly the most important man in my life. And we're completely on the same wavelength on where we want to take the book. The book as the object. The museums also actually are just giant books. I'm still with the book, except that the book is also now becoming the raw material. So that's how it was displayed at the MMK, because of course the books arrived only like 2 hours before the opening in typical Steidl style. But for the MMB show, I was able to get the structures made. So it's a beautiful show. I would urge you all to not miss it, because it's as beautiful as any silver show of mine has ever been. Beautifully lit, the gallery is exquisite, and you walk in there. I don't mean to undermine the book, but I think it's something else now. It's something else. I don't have the work for it, but I know that that's the work. It's a space between gallery and publishing, between print on the wall and book. Something else has formed. And again, this form always happens because there's a challenge, because there's an addressee, because everybody said, actually not everybody, the people from the Tate, when they were doing their collection tour, had come, and I said, why are you buying these? Why do you want to buy prints? Why don't you buy my books? My beautiful dummies, for example, like my Zakir dummy, which is made out of prints. That's where my heart is. And they said, books are fine, Dayanita, but we can't display them. We can only show them in vitrines, 1 page at a time, or facsimiles. Both don't do justice. Somewhere that stayed. And now I have this form that I'm sure it'll find its way to the Tate. So this is the MMB show that I highly recommend to everybody, really. Because it's something else. I can say that myself. It's not book, it's not print on the wall, and it's both those things, and it's neither of those things. And since some of you are studying with Rashmi, I'm hoping some of you might get interested in thinking about what this other form could be. Because really, it's this idea of always finding another form, a new form, not for the sake of it being new, but to push the limits. So now the next step is already going on. So before I move too forward, please somebody pay attention to what is going on at the Max Muller Bhavan. Well, somehow a lot of people did. They came to the opening, and as Shireen pointed out, they were mostly new faces. It was fantastic. And then these books are available in an edition of 352. And people came, and there were some people, Shireen, who bought it like their first work of art. It was so touching, I can't tell you. A young architect couple, I think, or a design couple, bought 10 of them for their wall. Because, you know, I don't want to get into market, but it's important that my work be at different levels. I don't want it only available to large institutions, as happens with the museums, because who else can take on 150 works? So it's like I'm trying to work at two very different audiences. No, it's more than audiences. That's another discussion, we'll come to it. And this is a quote of Saul Levitt. This is just to show you, oh sorry, I can see it here. These are the corridors that are being formed in my studio. So to reach the desk or to carry anything, you have to go through these narrow spaces, because people always said you need a big space for a gallery. And I always argued and saying there's a great intimacy to small spaces. And so now I have this gallery. It's a 4-meter square gallery. And this is a room I made, which is my Getting to Zero room, where I have T.M. Krishna playing 24 hours, whether I'm in the room or not. And I have him playing very softly right now, but I've been hearing him all through. I find one piece of music, and then it goes on a loop day after day, travels with me, it's on the plane all the time. And this becomes my Getting to Zero, where there's a certain amount of reading, there's some music, but the key is really who I'm in conversation with, who may not be the addressee. The addressee may not be the person I'm in conversation with. But these are sort of the 4 elements that I carry with me to that room, and then I just sit there. And it's really to see what will come, what form emerges out of all of these things. So that's why I wrote that I sort of work backwards. It's never that, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this will be the form. I do the this, because I intuitively know that it's very important for me to go on that 5-day car journey with this friend of mine from Chennai to Kochi, because I just know it's very important to do. What comes out of it is chance, but it's always incredible chance. And so then the real rigor starts, where all these elements have collected, all the material is there, the reading is going on, the music is there, the right conversation is also there, and an addressee is there, and then the work has to present itself. So I could sort of, how are we for time? No, I'm fine with that. The sooner this ends, the better. No, it's just that, you know, I've sort of really, I got carried away, I think, and so I'm really feeling like I have to cross my legs now. Just a second. How do I enter full screen? Or will it play in QuickTime? Okay, I have to get everything right. So Bear with me. Actually, I'm more like a DJ today. I hope this works. So this is after months and months of discussing with Susanna Gansheimer on the work that I was going to present with Mona, because it started in '89, still continued. Projections, all kinds of works were being thought about. And then I had this digital camera, and this is really the magic hand of chance. Someone gave me a digital camera saying, when are you going to stop doing all this film nonsense? Because film is just going to go. Here's a camera, try it. So Mona had come to my house, as she often does. It was my birthday, so we had a little cake, just Mona and me. And she was lying down on the couch, and I remembered this beautiful song that she loved, Rasik Balma, which, of course, you could find on YouTube. So I put this same laptop there and picked up this digital camera. I thought, I'll take a portrait of hers. So I stood up, and I took a portrait of hers, and I played the song. So she was hearing it for the first time, and here it is. I'm sorry, I messed up. Anyway, you hear it like this. That's when I started to take the second picture. Do you follow what happened? It's the most incredible chance. I thought I was taking a still image. She thought I was taking a still image. So you saw it go out of focus in between? That's me thinking this silly digital camera doesn't focus, so let me try and focus it. That's me trying to focus an automatic camera. So it goes out of focus. And then, because I get fascinated by how she becomes the song, I'm still holding the camera. And at that point where it stops is when I said, this bloody stupid camera, no wonder I don't use digital, pressed it again. And I finished it. The whole thing it was chance. Now, was it chance? Or is it 25 years of building up an intuition? Is it, I don't know. But I know that every time one returns, it's not that one has to keep looking for new, it's all there. One just goes back and forms just present themselves. And this one, literally, complete accident. Thinking I'm making 2 still images, and I go downstairs to look in my big projector, how they're going to these 2 still images of Mona look in the projection. And I'm just amazed. And, I don't know, but the sound wasn't okay and all of that here. That was my mistake with the Bluetooth. But, this is T.M. Krishna. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. So each time I return to someone, or to a certain emotion or even just one image. I pick up that one image and I continue on from that. Some other form emerges. And that is the great beauty, I think, or the great privilege of being an artist, where you can really just give yourself up to that chance. And just allow these things to play themselves out. And it's difficult because you don't know what's coming at the end of it. And quite often, things don't work out. Most often, things don't work out. But when they do, it's absolutely incredible. And then when things don't work out, like, for example, Walter Keller dies on the 1st of September, 1/9/2014. And I'm really bereft and heartbroken, and there's nobody to really share that grief with, because it was a very one-to-one relationship, and certainly nobody in India knew him. So I was just posting everywhere, 1/9/2014, and I met. At this age, you don't make so many new friends. But I met someone, I went into an office to get a permission for a library, and I made friends with this person, and I thought, this is someone really special. I haven't met an officer like him. And then he said, why is my birth date all over your Facebook? How do you know my birthday? Or something like that. So this black day, 1/9/2014, becomes this wonderful, wonderful dear friends. Not becomes, it is his birthday. And so that's what I thought I would leave you with, this incredible role that chance plays in all our lives. This is nothing special that I'm saying, but really that's what brings my work together, which is why I hate working to a commission or I sort of want it to grow and grow. And that I can keep adding is very important to me, because after this conversation, maybe I want to go back into that little ladies' museum and add something else, or something else to the Museum of Embraces. And so I'm very happy to have found a form both in the museums and now with this Museum of Chance book, where I can be much more organic in the way that I work and allow chance to do things more and more. What can one do? One can just be prepared for chance to happen, for art to happen. I don't think one goes out there and says, I'm going to make art. I certainly don't. But these wonderful accidents, chance, intuition, blessings, who knows, happens, and it works. And as I said in the beginning, that I feel now I have really found my voice. It doesn't mean it won't change. It doesn't mean it won't grow. But now I'm starting. I feel terribly fertile at this time. I have every few days, and new friendships always do that. There are all these windows that suddenly start opening. New conversations do that. You meet someone on a plane and suddenly you say, oh my God, and a whole set of windows open. So I'm in that kind of phase right now, and which is why I probably had the courage to bring half my studio, not half, but like a sampling of my studio to share with you. So that's sort of it from my side.
Wow.